Hey guys, Forrest Proctor here from Epic Creative, and today we're doing another product review, this time on a projector, which is a little different than what I usually do. Usually review cameras, lenses, stuff like that, but this is relevant to the channel because we are going to be using this projector to add a different service to our business and monetize it. So without further ado, the projector that we are going to be looking at today is the Nebula Mars 3, and I actually have it right here. This is what the unit looks like. And if you're watching this video, you kind of already know what it looks like, right? So this is what it actually looks like. I'm going to go through the specs a little bit. I'm going to go through what all it comes with and the reason I bought it. And also, this review is going to be geared towards using this projector to project on a larger screen, and specifically a must-show 22 to 25 foot screen, because I couldn't find anything on YouTube about using this particular Nebula Mars 3 on a bigger screen, and I already had the big screen and wanted to start implementing it into my business. So yeah, we're going to talk about that, and we're going to look at how it actually performs on a big screen here in just a second. All right, so when you order the projector, it's going to come in this here box. So just to give you a view of kind of what the box looks like. And it's got a lot of information on it. It's actually really well packaged, and right there you can see it shows from corner to corner it should be able to project 200 inches and be very sharp, which is another reason I bought it. It was in a good price range. I think the projector normally is $1,200, but if you're watching this in 2023 in December, I got it for $799. So it was $400 off on Amazon. And that's kind of why I went with it. I already was leaning towards it, but then they had that sale, so I kind of just pulled the trigger. I also opted, let's see if I can pick it up here. I need to zip it up. I also opted to get the case for it, which just made sense. And here is the case. A pretty nice case. Really, it's like a canvasy case. It's nice and sturdy. Inside, it has two places for any accessories. The power cable goes in there really well, and then the remote fits in there really good. And I also have a 50-foot aux cable, so I can hook it to my PA system in there, and everything fits in this nice little case. So that's really cool. Real quick, I'm gonna go through the specs. I don't wanna spend too much time on this, but there were a few specs that are super important to me. Like I said, I've seen people review this on YouTube where they're like projecting it, you know, in their garage or on a small screen in their house, and that's all good and dandy, but I actually didn't buy that for this. The main reason I bought this projector was because me and my family have a Christmas party every year, and we always do like an outdoor movie night, and it's gotten bigger and bigger over the years, and this year I actually ordered a 16-foot inflatable screen. Well, the company that I ordered it from sent me the wrong size. They actually sent me a 22-foot, which is just a massive screen. It's actually bigger than my barn. I should be throwing some footage up on screen here of me blowing it up because we're gonna go out and test it. But because they bought that, the three projectors I have would not stay sharp enough at that size. So I had to upgrade on projectors. So the reason I bought the projector is to put it on a big screen, and specifically a 16 by 7.5 foot white screen. So yeah, hopefully if you're out there and you have a screen like that, this review will help you, because I couldn't find any reviews or video reviews on the projector for that specific application, if you will. So just going through a few of the specs, it is a 1080p projector with a 4K input, so meaning you could put a Blu-ray player or any kind of 4K input into the HDMI cable. It has 1,000 ANSI lumens. If you know what that is, congrats. I don't really know. I do know that I've tested it on my carport at about 14 feet in width, and it is super bright. My kids absolutely love it, and you know, we use it at home, and I'm going to talk a little bit about how we're going to use it in the business here in a minute. Display life source says 25,000 hours. You know, it comes with a power cable, but it also is its own battery. So we were able to watch 2 feature films on it, which ran about 3.5 hours, and that was on full brightness. And right at the end of the second one, it told me it was on 20%, so I plugged it up. So I can tell you from experience, it works really, really well. It has Android, Android TV built in. Basically, like, you can do all your streaming like Netflix, You can download pretty much any app in order to stream on there, and I've watched Premier League soccer games on it. We use it on Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu, ESPN, things like that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else in terms of specs. A couple things it comes with, just real quickly to tell you, it comes with the unit, comes with a charger, comes with a remote, quick start guide, all that jazz. Yeah, I don't want to bore you with too many of these specs because this is mainly going to be about how I'm incorporating it into my business and how it performs on a bigger screen. But as you can see on the website, it is $1,499, or I'm sorry, $1,049. So just over $1,000. And then the case is $90. I got the case for $50 on Amazon, and I got the projector for $799. They do have a $300 off coupon on here. And I have noticed with Nebula, in terms of all their projectors and accessories and all, they normally have some kind of discount on their website. So if you don't see a good deal on Amazon, I would definitely check out their website directly. And they have a lot of other projectors that I considered, like the Cosmos Laser 4K. Maybe we'll upgrade to that one day if this business idea works, right? But let's look at the projector one more time. So the projector has got a nice weight to it. It's also, like I said, it's got an internal battery. It has this nice joysticky thing, let me get my face out of here, on top that you can use all the controls. So far, I've only used the remote, which works really well. On the bottom, it has this, let's see, it has a nice little kickstand for putting on like a table or something, and then it also has an 1/8 inch screw hole where you can use a tripod, which is what I plan on doing this Saturday night when we have our party. But I have actually only set this on a picnic table and it worked really, really well. On the back here, let's just do the back, it has a light, which is like a camping light. You can just turn that on. It's actually really handy when you're trying to look at all these ports in the dark. So I really appreciate them putting that. And then on this side, let's see, we've got USB-C, USB, HDMI, and aux cable, and then also the DC in. So super handy stuff there, and I like that cover. And this is also like advertised as really water resistant. And then to turn it on is pretty cool. It's just got this, and I really like this, like protective door here. Let's see if I can get my face out of it again. And you open it up, and as you can see, the little red ring will come on. And yeah, that's how you turn it on. And it does a lot of stuff in terms of auto focusing, auto keystoning on the wall. I was actually really impressed, like when I took it out, put it on the table, shined it in my garage, or my carport rather, it just automatically focused, automatically keystoned. I went in and did a little bit of manual keystoning to it to get it, just how I wanted it. But overall, like you can pretty much set this thing up and start using it. But let's get into how I'm gonna incorporate this into my business, because a lot of you guys who follow me know that I have a video and photography business, and that's kind of what I do. And if anybody knows me personally, they know that I just about have to monetize everything that I do. I don't know what it is about it. It's just in me. Like if I buy something, normally it's contributing to the business or it's making money. And I saw this as a great opportunity to do that. Like a little bit of background. The whole reason we started the Christmas party 8 years ago, where we show an outdoor movie, was as a kid, I had a single mom, and she would take me and my brother to the movie theater because it was a somewhat affordable thing that felt like magic, and that's like a good memory that I have with my mom. And so it's kind of me and my mom's thing. We put on this Christmas party and we bring the cinema outside to our friends and family. And so I've always had this dream of like having an old theater or something downtown, or owning a movie theater. And that's kind of how I got into video, because I just love films. So fast forward, there's no old theaters for sale, nor do I have that kind of capital. But we started this Christmas party thing, and over the years, I've had different size screens. I've got about 6 projectors in this room, just because we've just kind of started small and worked our way up. But I got to thinking, if I was gonna invest, in this projector and in this giant screen, how can I monetize that? And what I've come up with is actually a DBA apart from my business called Flicks and the Sticks. Basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna offer the projector and screen as a package that you can rent for corporate events, downtown movie nights, special occasions, or like televised events such as the National Championship or the Super Bowl, et cetera, et cetera. But then also for weddings, you know, I had this idea of like, let's say you want to have an outdoor movie at your wedding, even for the kids, like something you can play for the kids, you can rent it for that. Also, we'll have a deal going on at epicfilmandphotography.com where you can actually rent the screen for a movie for your wedding, but in addition, we'll shoot a how we met film, which would be like a 5-minute film about how you and your significant other met. And it'll be, you know, it'll have everything from like cut shots of the first restaurant you went to and interviews possibly, you know, voiceovers of how you guys met, basically creating a film that you can show at your wedding, at the ceremony, not the ceremony, but at the reception. So I think that's kind of a cool creative idea. But apart from that, I'll just be renting out the screen and the projector to anybody who wants to use it. You could even use it for birthday parties and things like that. And I just think it's a cool thing. Like, it kind of ties in what I do with my love for cinema, and it's accessible for me. Like, I'm not planning on scaling this thing, at least yet, to like multiple projectors and screens. It's just more for fun and also just to make my money back and then make some profit on it. But yeah, without further ado, I would like to get outside and start setting up the screen and then testing this on that, because we have 4 days until the party and I really need this thing to look good on that screen. So I think that's all I got for you in here. Let's head outside and see what it looks like. All right guys, it's actually been a few days since I recorded that first part. Went to my mom's, had a big Christmas party. Totally forgot my camera, so I did not get to get any footage of it on the big screen, but I did set the big screen up. I did put the projector on it. It looked awesome. Really apologize about that. I am gonna throw some video on screen to show you how big the screen actually is compared to my Jeep. And as you'll see, it's a massive screen, and we didn't have any issues with the sharpness or anything like that. Everything looked really good. But tonight, my kids are dying to watch a movie outside, so we're gonna stoke out a fire. And then I've got this awesome white wall behind me, which is about 14 foot by 8.5 foot. So really large area. And what's nice about this is when I don't wanna go out into the yard over here and put up the big screen, which takes roughly about 20 to 30 minutes to set up fully, I can just project it on this wall right here. It's really good. Got the fire pit right outside the carport here. And it makes for a good, like, really quick movie night. I'm gonna show you how fast you can set this Nebula Mars 3 up, so let's get to it. Okay guys, one thing to note really quickly, if you are gonna be using like a big inflatable screen, and you're gonna project from the back, I will say you're gonna lose about 25% brightness on that. Nothing crazy. With our Christmas party, we have like a lot of kids running around and a lot of people out in the yard watching the movie, so it was worth it in the pitch black to sacrifice that 25% brightness for the safety and security of kids not tripping over the projector and not obstructing anybody's view. But if you actually walk to the back and look at the image, it is crazy bright. Now, for this wall, we're gonna be projecting straight onto the wall, onto a white wall and the dark carport. So you're gonna see it's gonna be super bright. So that's not gonna apply to this, but I just wanted to let you know, just in case you are planning on using a big, you know, blow up screen, you'll have to be the judge whether you're gonna sacrifice the brightness for the projecting from the back. Also, make sure if you wanna do that before you buy your screen that it has that type of material where you can project from the back. But without further ado, let's stoke this fire up and start this movie night. All right, so it turns out we're not gonna do a fire because my wood was in the wagon full of water. So sorry about that. We are gonna pull a heater out here, 3 chairs, and then we'll get the projector set up. Let's check out the contents of the box. What's up, Hagen? All right, we're making a video showing our new projector. All right, so we've got the projector here. Here we go. It's looking nice. All right, then flipping this over, we got our power. Got some accessories that I bought separate, like a 50-foot XLR or aux adapter. Aux cable actually. I've got an adapter that goes HDMI to USB-C for my iPad, which is pretty neat. And then we have the remote, which we're about to use. This is Hagen, standing by the camera in his red jacket. Hey, don't get right in front of it, back up. Back up, man. Guys, this is how easy it is. We're literally just going to point this way at the wall, flip this down. You're gonna see this red ring come on. Back up, buddy, there you go. That's good. And it's projected to the wall, and it's auto surfacing itself, which is pretty neat. All right, something I really like about this projector is if you go into settings, into projector settings, into image correction, you can perform a manual keystone. And what that lets you do is adjust these corners like so. So you can see, it did a decent job when it comes to fitting it to my carport here. It wasn't perfect, so we're just gonna come in here and basically adjust it to kind of fit our fancy. Okay, I like that, and I like that. And you can go and finesse these to your liking. I think that looks pretty good just for tonight. And I know that the video is not gonna do it justice, but this thing is really bright in here. And if I turn my camera light off, you can see how vivid it actually is. I'm gonna show you some more footage once we start a movie. All right guys, so we've got the kids set up outside watching good old Indiana Jones. This sort of wraps up the review. I am gonna end with some pros and cons. So starting with the pros, the projector is decently affordable. Now if you go to Nebula website, you'll see they're always running promotions like $100 off, $200 off. I actually got mine here during Christmas time, and instead of $1,200, it was $799. So I got a pretty substantial discount. And then the case, which I think you really should get, is $100, but I got it for $69. Just keep a lookout for the promotion, sign up for the email list. They'll give you 20% off, 10% off, or whatever. But it is decently affordable. The other thing too is it's majorly convenient. I have had a passion for projecting films for a long time, as well as creating films, and being, like video and cinematography has always been my thing. So naturally, I like to make videos, and then I like to project videos. I don't know, I just love film. So over the years, I've had lots of projectors like these, and even like little ones like these. I think I've had like 7 or 8 projectors over the years for our family events and different things that we do. And I've also premiered some of my own documentaries with projectors. And this projector, the Nebula Mars 3, is insanely convenient. Back when we were doing everything on these little projectors, or even this bigger size projector, you had to have a table, you had to have 3 or 4 cords, HDMI, power cable, aux cable, and a speaker. All of that is taken care of inside the projector. You saw, I just went out there, I laid it down, I turned it on, I projected it to the wall, and the kids are out there watching a movie right now. Like, it is so easy, and I think that's a big part of the cost. Another pro is this thing is super bright, it's super high quality. It has a computer basically built in it with the Android TV, which gives you all of your apps like Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, Paramount, Peacock. I've watched Premier League games on there live. It's just a lot of fun, and I can't tell you how convenient it is, because when we're done with this movie, I'll literally walk out there, I'll shut the cap, I'll put it back in the bag, and I'll bring it inside. And that's really it. Nothing else is involved. So the convenience is a huge plus. I really like the remote on this projector. Haven't really talked about that a lot, but I actually have not used the top handle remote yet, which is built into the top handle, just because the remote itself works really well. And speaking about that big movie night we had with my 22-foot inflatable screen, I was using that remote from about 40 yards away in my chair with no lag or anything. Now, we're gonna talk about the lag in just a second in terms of the computer, but I'm talking about the actual remote. I was able to use it shooting through the screen about 40 yards away, because I stayed in the back just to kind of like see everybody. And no problem, super convenient. Didn't have to get up and go to the projector. Didn't have to go up and go to a DVD player. So that was really cool. Now, something really cool about this is if you do have a Netflix account, you can actually download movies to the projector, which is awesome. If you're camping or something like that and you're not gonna have good cell service or even Wi-Fi, you can actually download your movies. Now, I was not able to do it on other streaming apps such as Hulu, Paramount, Peacock. I'm not really sure why, because on their mobile versions of their app, you are able to download stuff. For some reason, I couldn't do it on there. But my workaround was I would download all the movies I wanted to my iPad. And if you remember, I showed you the HDMI to USB-C adapter that I bought at Best Buy. You plug that in, and your iPad, or really any USB-C device, is projected perfectly immediately. So that was kind of my workaround for that. But at our big party, I tested my Verizon wireless hotspot strength, and we actually streamed 5 movies in a row on different streaming platforms in the middle of the country through the hotspot through the projector. So I had my iPad giving off a hotspot. Then I had the projector picking up that Wi-Fi and projecting movies, and we streamed like The Grinch from Paramount, I think. We streamed Elf, we streamed Genie from Peacock. So we streamed like a bunch of different things on different streaming platforms, and it worked really, really well. A huge plus to me, and somebody else, like my brother, was looking at it, and we both agreed that it's just the build quality of the projector is super solid, and you can just tell it's gonna last a long time. Now, in the future, we might have to order a bulb or get that replaced, and that's totally understandable. It says it has 25,000 hours of life, so we won't go through that anytime soon, but the build quality is unmatched in my opinion, especially to like these plasticky little projectors, or even this bigger projector is like full plastic and kind of rattles around. The build quality is really, really good, and it's a conversation starter because everybody sees you pop it out with that little red ring, and it's like, oh wow, that's like a real projector. Like you saw me do on the wall out there, like I really like the image correction stuff. It does a good job at focusing right off the bat, and then after that I find that if you do the manual keystone, you can really get it perfect. And I really like that because back with these projectors, we would always have to move the table, and then your angle wouldn't be quite right, and then you had cords dangling everywhere. And just after years and years of dealing with that, I cannot tell you how amazing and convenient it is to just be able to plop a projector down at almost any angle and get a good picture right off the bat. This projector is really bright, like I mentioned, and that comes in handy when you're projecting from the back because you're gonna lose about 25% brightness. So the fact that this thing is so bright really helps in that area, because I really do prefer to project from the back, just because, you know, you got kids running around and it obstructs views and it just looks cleaner. I actually had somebody at the party the other night say, "Where's your projector?" And I made a joke. I was like, "Oh no, there is no projector. The screen is the projector." They're, "Oh my gosh, that thing is like digital. It's like a digital cloth on there." I was like, "No, it's actually behind it," but I really like that. Okay, something I might have failed to mention, I apologize if I did, is actually that the projector itself is a battery, is a power source. So it charges up, you don't have to plug it in. And for one-off movie nights like we're doing outside right now, it's perfect because it'll last like 2 movies, no problem. The other night at the big Christmas party with so many people involved and moving parts, I just powered it the whole time. But yeah, the battery life is pretty decent, and it's just nice for like, if you're just popping it up for you and your family to watch 1 movie or maybe 2 movies, you're not gonna have any issues at all. But we went 5 hours, so of course I wanted it plugged in. And piggybacking off of that, it's also a speaker, and not just a speaker, it's a loud speaker. It's really loud. Now, if you're just projecting on the wall, like I just showed you we're doing in our carport, it's more than loud enough. In fact, I might have it at about 65 right now, and it's pretty loud. If I went to 100, I might get concerned that my neighbors, even though they're far away, it might bother them here on a weeknight. But yeah, super, super loud, so you don't have to plug in any kind of speaker or do a Bluetooth, but you still have that option. And when you're projecting from the back at a big event like I was doing the other night, I actually had it Bluetoothing to a PA system, and we'll get into that and some of the negatives here in a minute. In terms of like syncing it up and making sure it didn't have any lag or very little lag. But yeah, it's a really nice speaker. And then it has a backlight on it, which I didn't show because I just don't think that's like a huge deal. But it is nice when you're trying to plug stuff up just to hit the backlight. I don't see myself using the backlight very much. I also don't see myself charging things with it because I already have one of those big batteries that I charge stuff with when I go camping. And I really want to maintain the power in it for projecting, because if I charge a bunch of stuff on it and then I go pop it out to project, I've used all the power charging up iPhones and tablets and stuff. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but I am glad it's there. And I guess if you were using your, well, I was gonna say if you're using a tablet, but you gotta use USB-C to charge it and to project, you couldn't really do that. So if that is something you're interested in, you can do it. It also acts as a Bluetooth speaker, so if you're just chilling by the campsite, you could just use it for audio. And I think that is actually pretty cool. And I can see us using that for that purpose. But I think that's all the positives. Let's get into a couple of the little negatives that aren't super deal breakers, but you know, we just gotta talk about them. All right, so one of the big negatives for me is going to be the lack of an audio out, as far as I can tell. Now there's an auxiliary in, which doesn't make a lot of sense. If you guys have a Nebula Mars 3 and you know how to reverse that and make the audio come out instead of going in, I would love to know, please fill me in. Otherwise, I've been using the Bluetooth feature to Bluetooth to my PA system. Now, there is some issue with lag there, and inside of the audio settings, there are options to increase or decrease that lag. Now, at the big party, we were able to use that to kind of finesse it and get the lag down to a very, very minute amount that I don't think most people even notice other than me and my brother. But over time, the lag seemed to come back. And so I would kind of have to adjust it every now and again. And that's kind of a big issue for me. If you're using this on a big projector outside and you want to use an external audio source, if you're just doing it, you know, at your house and all that jazz, you're not gonna have any issue. There is no lag because it's all one unit. It's just when you're trying to use an external source. Okay, another slight negative, not a huge deal breaker, especially for these one-off movie nights, but the battery life is surprisingly not great. If you go into the menu setting, there are some brightness settings, there's automatic, there's AI or something like that, and then there's standard. Standard is just where you can pick the brightness and set it. That's what I personally like to do because I like the image to just be super bright. That's just me. And it'll last for a movie and a half and then I'll have to plug it in. If you put it on the auto setting, I think it will go for about 2 minute or hour and 30-minute films, 3 hours or so. But you do lose a lot of brightness. So I think the battery could last a little longer, but I don't know how they would compensate for the cost. Just a personal thing, not a deal breaker, still love it, but just know that your battery is not gonna last super long if you are using the brightest setting. And the last thing I wanna talk about is Android TV that's built into the projector itself. Although I love it and I'm glad that I don't have to plug in a Roku TV or something or always use my iPad, I will say that it is a little slow, and I've been told that they made it quicker with this firmware update, which I did as soon as I got it, so I can't imagine how slow it was before. Now, is it like DSL, dial-up slow? No, it's not. It's just sometimes when you click something, it'll take a minute. Not a minute, but it'll take, it's like got that little bit of a lag to it. Now, weirdly enough, once you get into a streaming service, say Hulu, Paramount, Peacock, something like that, it seems to be like fluid and fast. So it's like the home screen and the settings and stuff like that could just be faster. And to be honest, it just seems like a trait of Android. Like I know it's probably a lot harder to team up with Apple or to buy Apple software to put into these things. So I totally get it. And like I said, when I plug in my iPad, it's seamless. So, you know, if you have an iPad or an iPhone and you're willing to go that route just for a little bit quicker speed, you know, go for that. But I think the computer could be a lot faster. All right, guys, that wraps up this video. I probably will make another video about this projector in the future, but I've had it for almost a month now. I've used it several times on my big screen here just in the living room and then on the carport. And I really, really love it. Of course, I've spoke about monetizing it, which I already have an elementary school that wants to rent it for a movie night, and they're gonna pay, I gave them a huge discount, they're gonna pay between $300 and $500 for that. And so I'll make half my money back just right there. And it's gonna be fun, and people are gonna be creating endless memories. So, you know, it's like a double-edged sword. Make a little money, make a little memories. So pretty cool. Anyway, if you like this video, please consider liking the video. If you like the video, like the video. But if you could subscribe, that would be super awesome because it allows me to keep creating the content. If you have information about this projector that I don't know that can help me better my experience and better the experience of everybody watching this, please put it in the comments below. And otherwise, we'll just see you in the next video. Peace.